Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Well, it's Wednesday all day long. That's what they say. So, what's up? How's your day going? Hope it's going well. Hope you're enjoying it. Um, I'm still fooling around here with the ignition. So, just getting tuned in. So, hello, everyone. Hey, Franny, how are you doing? Um, let's see, just reading comments. Brad, hey, Steve, got your emails, buddy. Just give me a while. You're on the list. Trust me, it's just been intense. And anyway, hey, Sarah, shoots for bar. Hey, Carol, how are you doing, hon? Kaz, how are you? Good to see you. Sierra, the beauty killer. All right, love it. Think agape love, always and forever. Greetings. Zora, how are you doing? Shoots for Pa. Good to see you, buddy. David and Aaron, Mary, and hello, how are you? It's good to see you as well, my dear. Eyes to see. Boy, your handle fits perfectly in what we're going to be talking about today. Hey, Get Money Jones, you were the first one in here. I saw that. Struggle within, as we all do. And Mark, how you doing? Consciously aware is where we all hope to be. Hey, Cato, how you doing? And Doris, hello. Valerie, there's a song about you. Justin, Lisa, good to see you, my dear. Heidi, hello. William, great, good to see you. Next, hello. Jacqueline, Jenny, and Matt, hello. Mario, the Mayan, greetings, sir. Elise, good to see you. Brad, well, this is just a happening place, man. I'll tell you, back in the day when I used to do some partying, I mean, this would be the crowd to come into with, I mean, you're going to have a good time. And just think, I could have saved myself a fortune and buying all the drinks, right? Aurora Rain, good to see you. Hopkins, good to see you. Joyce, hello. And Debbie, good to see you as well. Well, Zodiac Centrist, is that right? Did I say that? I think it's Centrist. Okay, great. Deborah, hello. Terry, Rebecca, Lisa. I love that. Anne, how are you doing? Well, folks, got some good stuff today. We're making a journey of this. We are, I think, indeed on the scavenger hunt of all time. Think about this. I mean, life, it sucks. I mean, listen, I get the emails. People are having a rough time out there. Many of them are, and many of them that are in our community just having a difficult time. And, congratulations to them that they keep pushing on, that tenacity. And wow, but I want you to think about this. Listen, by the evidence, I think it would be safe to say that the deck was stacked against us. I mean, it's like going into a 3-card money game. You're never going to win at that. And when you do, the house is going to make sure that they extract it even more. So it occurred to me that if I am spirit, I am one of many, I am many of one, I am spirit. Well, it got me to thinking, well, all right, you talk about ascension. I think ascension's it's a new goo for a word that you could call scavenger hunt. I mean, seriously, you're ascending, and isn't that the idea of a scavenger hunt? Collect all the pieces, move forward, right? I mean, what is reincarnation? If it's not, you didn't get all the pieces. And so the penalty is you got to send your sorry ass back through again. And most people never even realize that that they're supposed to be collecting the pieces. It's that famous line in Forrest Gump, right? Where Gary Sinise is talking to Tom Hanks. And Gary says, Forrest, if you found Jesus, and Forrest says, I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for him, Lieutenant Dan. And I think that that's what so happens with us. It's like you're crossing over, right? You've had your time here, and now you're going over, regardless of what is there. And they put you into this room, and the voice says, "How many pieces did you collect?" And you're going, "I didn't even know there was a game." So I think that one way of looking at life could be that we're on a scavenger hunt. I mean, seriously. How many pieces have we picked up? So we're going to pick up another piece today. And let me just invoke favor on all of you today. Man, I know I'm, there are some, and I won't mention them because I didn't have that permission, but man, there's some people struggling, folks. So those of us who are, at a different vibration, we need to help send that energy. We're just a conduit, and each one of us are a node along that path. And so I just invoke favor upon all of you folks, divine favor that is what we would call supernatural. In other words, it's already natural, but I'm invoking supernatural favor and restoration upon you. And whether that be finances, whether that be a job, whether that be restoration of a relationship, I just speak that over and into every one of your lives. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing, we're going to continue to do A Course in Miracles. Because how many, y'all raise your hand now, could use a miracle? I don't know about you, but personally, I could use one every day. In fact, I could use a couple every day. I mean, if there's no limit to miracles, then why should I limit myself to one, two? Why can't every second that I'm in this temporal plane be a miracle instead of a drudgery, a lack, sickness? No. We ain't going to accept that crap. Like Jeff Doherty says, get that con out of my face. So no copyright, Jeff. Gave you full credit, buddy. So a couple of things. Let's take a peek, my friends. Give me 1 second here. For some reason, I got Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young in my head. Oh, it's a great song, folks. Man, I wish you were there. Hey, little health thing here, folks. Those of you who have chronic ailments, cardiac, if you have relatives, those of you who have family members that may have dementia, sundowners, Alzheimer's, we are in a really extended period of the KP index being below zero. This is getting serious, folks. We're now going into day 2. And as you can see, since January, it's only been 3 times in the last 3 days, whereas for a couple of hours, it got up to 1. 1 is healthy. That's for us. I mean, we're electrical beings. Our goddess planet, she is electrical, as is the solar system, as is the universe, as is this reality. And when we start, and this is only going to get worse, folks. Earth told us yesterday, she said, things ain't going well. And yeah, this is not good for our species. I'll just tell you that right now. It's not good. We need to be aware of that, and we need to continue to be aware. By the way, let me share this with you. Got a couple more screens here. So this has been the problem. This is discover. This is what we get off of the sun. Right here in the phi angle, right now, when you get this 180 right here, that's kind of where we switch connection, where it's from the sun or from the earth. Right now, we are in a earth connection, but this is the thing that is really bad, folks. The density, low, low, low. And when you get the KP, the solar wind, down here below 300, optimally, we like to see it, up around 455. That's kilometers per second. But yeah, our sun it's weak. There's just no denying it anymore. It's weak. And so give me a second here as I continue to take the next exit. Hold on 1 second. I crack myself up. Hey, listen, if I don't, who does? So all of you folks in the north, right there in good old Chicago, Northeast, yeah, it sucks. And the reason why us over here in the western part of the United States, we're not in this, and here it is, you can see it, that polar vortex right over us. But what I find interesting, and this year, the upper vortex of our jet stream, it's just nuts. Let me pull this in for you. So you can see why the air, this is the North Pole right here. This is the Arctic. So it's coming and slamming right into us. But here's what I find interesting. Look what's happening out here. It looks like, and let me get the view here. This is unusual. And I'll tell you why this is unusual. We don't want to see this happening. This is a mixture, and let me get over here, and I'll show you how we can look at these views. This is what's interesting, and we're seeing the vortex, the upper jet stream up here, and you can see how it's beginning to divert. Now, this is what I'm watching for right here. And let me expand this out. If we start seeing a mixture of what we call the northern latitudes down into the equator temporal zone, and then mix down with the southern upper jet stream, like this is doing here, this shows that there is great stability happening in our Earth. So, hey, folks, just heads up, do what you want. I'll keep you informed the best I can. Plenty of good website, YouTube channels out there. Ben Davidson, I've been supporter of Ben for years. My wife and I have met Ben, and he has his critics, but you know what? So do I. What I always say is, show me the success, baby. The critics are a dime a dozen. I mean, they're the ones that are sitting outside the ropes. I like the fact that I want to be inside the ropes. So, yeah, Zora, absolutely. I agree with you. Some really good channels out there. Oppenheimer is a good one. Ranch Project, I'm subscribed to them as well. Mavstars Reloaded is another good one. We've got resources, and that's the great thing. We have the opportunity while we can dance, baby, to share, not be stingy. Sometimes people get this whole thing. It's like, well, it's my channel. Yeah, baby, we all got one. Everybody needs a channel. You know, we all are channeling one way or the other. Just a matter of perspective, I would guess. Oh, Lisa, way to go, baby. Yeah, I want to cut the ropes. Boom, right, exactly. I love it. Now that is just cute. Hey, listen, I mean, I keep on telling you, we got talent here. So many of you are so shy. You know, I'm going to get, I got a lot of people, got Joe Sapien, OU of email. I got Brandon, there's enough of them on the list, but I'm going to get these people on. They got great things to say. And if you're funny, I think we ought to do it. If you're a musician, I think you ought to come on here. I think we can start doing benefit concerts, as long as you're not violating copyrights of some other music. If you're original, then, hey, we can do we got an opportunity. We've got to think outside the box, baby. Man, people. I ask so many Christians, how many of you have ever read the Quran? You'd have thought I was Satan himself. Oh, I am. I forgot about that. At least I've been accused of it. I said, man, if you're going to call me the devil, man, call me Lucifer. I mean, if you're going to do something, I mean, at least give something that has, a little polish to it. At least Lucifer's, the only thing he's accused of is bringing light and wisdom. Anyway, I could be the adversary. I never thought about that. People that get so, what was that? Check out my little sister's band, Lunar Vacation. All right, Mary, send me a link and I'll put it up here. Hey, folks, been studying. This is an interesting book. I kind of mentioned it last week. Let me see. There we go. There we go. I think that's right. Anyway, we're going to do some studying on this. I was instructed by my spirit guides, and there are several, to, start studying. So I'm up last night reading this, right? And I look up and it's well past midnight. I have to tell you, they say the Zohar, the book of enlightenment. I don't buy the whole Elohim crap. I don't like that species. I want nothing to do with them. I've said this publicly. The Elohims have no authority over me. I have no contract with them, and they have no contract with me. I'm neutral at this. If they want people to worship them, fine. I'm going to be that growing number that's going to say, kiss my butt. Now, if you want to have a discussion, I won't trust you from the beginning, but I'll still talk with you. I mean, even if you have the greatest distrust, you have to be the one who at least says, I'll extend the first branch. And then I'll tell them, us Sapiens, we live by the motto, screw me once, shame on you. Screw me twice, shame on me. Because I'm the damn fool that allowed it to happen the second time. And folks, this is what we're doing. This is why you got to get out of the matrix of a single religion, a single philosophy, a single ideology, a single political view. Singleness never does anyone any good. And this is the time to really get with the program. There's never been a time where knowledge has been more readily available to the seeker, to the sojourner, than this time. And I dare say this, folks, hear me on this one. I think we're going to be held accountable at a much different standard than those that preceded us. You know, if you say you're awake and enlightened, then this is the time to get with the program. So anyway, two things I have to share with you on profound things. When I was reading this, the creation story, as most know out of the Bible, well, they jacked it around. I mean, they repainted that sucker, and they tried to plaster it, and they said that didn't work, and but there's a mystery we're missing, and we're going to discuss this. They created male and female. They created them. It's not quite. It's the Hermetic principles, folks. Go back and look at my videos on the Kabbalion. Learn those 7 principles. They are showing up everywhere, in every religion, in every thought. Now, the other thing I found, oh, folks, in fact, it's where I left off last night, keeping my eyes open. I wrote this note because it's so freaking profound. Western philosophy, Western ideology, Western culture is so contaminated with a bias and bigotry that, yeah, you can study the other lesser ones, but remember, we're always up here. If that's your position going into a position, give it up. You're not there to learn. You're there to demand. It's not going to work. So, angels. We got this cockamamie thing that, has been planted by the Vatican. They're the ones who did it. They own it. And then, the Protestants, the protesters, they were too damn lazy to really research it, because what they did, they just simply took the house and just kind of gutted it and then put in a new remodel job. They rehabbed it. Of course, what they're going to say is that, well, this has nothing to do with the original. But wait a minute, you're in the damn house that the original was in. Well, no, it's changed. We've given it a new decor, and it has a new ambiance. And the way that we've approached this is that we really wanted a more modern motif in our theology. I mean, seriously, that's what it is. And we just bought it, and then you get so much into it when you really think you're into it. Well, now I'm going to really learn the scriptures here. And of course, you read it every day, and you get new revelation. But you know what? I can eat the same damn bowl of oatmeal every day. It's still going to taste like oatmeal. No matter what I want to say, it's still going to taste like oatmeal. So what I'll do is that I'll put some brown sugar on it or something else, but it's still going to taste like oatmeal. So, angels. This book redefines it way different. Are you ready for this? Spears. Yeah. No physical bipedal entities, no dimensional beings standing with wings and standing, 7 feet tall. No. Spears. Intelligent spears. Yeah. Kind of puts it in perspective, doesn't it? All righty. So, we're going to be studying today from the pineal gland and the eye of God. And this is actually taken from man, the grand symbol of the mysteries. This is one of the sections in my library, and it's I had something else planned, but you go with what. Yeah, okay, I'll say this. Many of you are looking for greater guidance by those that you call your spirit guides. Your spirit guides say to you, we have spoken to you many times. You will not trust our voice. We cannot trust you until you begin to trust us. So for whoever that was for, I hope it fits in your pipe and I hope it smokes well. So let's get right to business here. Hey, Brian, how you doing, buddy? And Charlotte, boy, I see a lot of others in here. How about how many books in my library? My wife has me in timeout. I have a strict budget because I buy books all the time. And we're having a problem as to where to put them. So I hope that answers your question. Anyway, Terry goes, Puff. That's far out. So cool, so cool. I'm hearing Spandau Ballet in my head, So let's get right into this thing today. I think you're going to find it very, very interesting. Regressed. Return to a former or lesser developed state. By all the evidence, it can be said sapiens particularly, are the most regressed genus of the Homo line, period. We're more regressed than the Cro-Magnon. The Cro-Magnon man actually utilized what we're going to be talking about, that third eye, almost literally. So again, this is based on the pineal gland, the eye of God, compromising chapter, I think this is, if I got that right, 17 of Manly Hall's book, Man, the Grand Symbol of the Mysteries. Now, when we are born, this gland is fully activated. In fact, in here, and by the way, if you want this, you have to buy it. I haven't been able to find it on any PDF. But at birth, the connective inward growth of the connective tissue from the pineal matter, that delicate and highly vascular membrane, investing the brain and spinal cord, later divide the body of the gland into lobules. At birth, the structure is comparatively large, and by 12 years, it has attained its full size. Here again, it is a possible analogy to the Bacchus myth. Now, I've gotten some people email me and said, Wayne, can't find hardly anything on the Bacchus cult. Yeah, I know. But there are some. And here again, these are the sages that they've got this information. Anyway, for the toy cone was a symbol peculiar to the childhood of the gods, of God itself. The cone. Many of you already, I can hear you already going, then, yep, snapping, getting it. All right. In other words, under normal conditions, the gland deteriorates with adolescence. Retrograde evolution or degeneration of the pineal gland begins about the 6th or 7th year and is particularly complete by puberty. You see, that's why we know adolescents, many in the medical field will tell you they're not quite children, they're not quite adults. That makes them not quite us. And we all know the awkwardness. Things are going on in our bodies. And nowadays, they've got so many chemicals, it's ridiculous. But back in the day, when it was still pretty much natural, no one knew that going through this change, isn't it odd how many we go through those different changes in life? Well, this is one. So with age, it shrinks this ability of the natural eye relying on the inner eye. Remember, the septum of the crane, of your cranial skull, the sutures haven't come together yet. You know, even toddlers, 3, 4 years old, it's still coming together. It is theorized that this is still a gap by which this gland has an ability to what we would use today to interface into other particular organs. Very interesting. And here we have that the pineal gland, as you can see, many of you are already seeing it. This is where God lives. I'll just tell you this right now. I'll probably going to get, you know, there are masters that watch this channel. I'll just tell you, this is God. This is where God lives and dwells. It's also where you live. I believe, as many of the great masters and initiates, that this is where our soul physically dwells. And you can see why. You can see why this is directly connected to creation. Everything around it supports it. Not enough time to get into all the aspects of it. But needless to say, this is, I forget which doctor, give me a second, of what his, I can't find the man's name real quick. Anyone in this study, this is what he, as a mathematician, did. He used physics. Now, this was back in the 1800s, but they figured it out. Now, look at the eye, look at the angle, look how the retina, look at the fingers. Everything is connected to this gland. Everything. It is said that Cro-Magnon, when we notice the indentation on their head, Neanderthal, even to a degree, but Cro-Magnon particularly, it is said that they could actually see in the back of their heads. We look at this tiny little gland. Yet, it does agree with the sages. The smallest will rule the greatest. I often think that sometimes God, or the concept of God, is not this vastness of infinity, but it's in the vastness of the infinity of the small. We know that there are certain reptilians, fishes in this case, that actually have the pineal gland literally on the top of them, and they can see with it. And look how it's what I did not realize. If you're low, guys, ladies, on melatonin, danger, danger, Will Wobron. Yeah, it needs to be. I've had people who said, well, right, how can I develop my pineal gland more? I'm going to tell you right now, you got to get rid of some of the calcification. It can be done. And it's just getting yourself balanced. We've got many herbalists and many others that are into the oils. All of that plays a role in this. But understand, it's not just myth. It's not just a theory. It's not occultism, not paganism. It's actual fact. We can activate it. I contend that there has been a concerted effort, again, going back to my theory of 1947, that something was let in. Because if you look at this, and you have to look at this in a much bigger picture. So you had I call them the archons. They're the dark overlords today. Top of the banking, Silicon Valley. These are no longer the same people they once were. They've been altered. But the point is, look what they've done to us. Throughout the 50s, it was the biggest single crime against the American citizenry when the government began to mandate fluoridation. It was reckless. It was to benefit the bankers that owned the mining, and they passed this off, this toxin. They knew it was a toxin. And the one gland, it impacts almost immediately. Yeah, you got it. Why do you think they do such heavy dosing with children? They wanted to cut us off from the divine. Remember, only a slave needs a savior. A free man needs no savior. But it would appear that this diabolical plan has had its results. Here's the thing. When we look at this gland and the surrounding tissue around it, it has the interesting look of a third eye, a retina, an iris. You can see in the paralenticular organ, could this be the physicality of the spirit, of the soul? And here's why this is a damaged gland. This is what fluoride does to it. And, I'm pretty sure they've got the chemical structure that they're now bypassing the fluoride because they know more and more people are no longer complying. That's the danger. I mean, God forbid that it become healthy again. Now, I believe that there is a good evidence that would say that it can be reversed. In Manley's book, he used a term that I thought was so interesting, And I found a correlation right in the Zohar. I had these out all over the couch last night. But it would appear the purpose of this gland was that it allowed the spirit, soul, to keep connected to the other side. That place from where we came. I think it's also where the memories were stored. The essence. And when you cut it off, you cut it off. Now look at this. Let's go back and look at it. It's been there all along. So this is the circle of Willis and the Kemetic Ankh. That's how that's pronounced. Ankh. I love that. Ankh. But you can see the Ankh. Pineal gland. Yep. Look at that, folks. Look at the arteries that circle it. You know why this resonates with those of us who are not afraid of it? Because it's us. Always has been. The pineal gland sees everything. The eye of Horus and the falcon. Now you can see where this imagery came from. There it is. Horus. They knew. Look at what we have in here. The headdress represents the pineal gland. And then you have the ankh symbolizing the gift. And you can see it fits perfectly. In fact, it's said that these actually point to Orion. I don't know. Probably up for debates. Probably someone saw that. But what we can tell you, this is not make-believe, folks. See the poster right behind me? You study this in detail. So I would say, there's something going on here. So look at the pharaohs. What do you think is going on here? This is how they talk to us. This is how they communicate. Sometimes they have to do a bypass, but they prefer the way that probably most carbon-based bipedals probably respond. So the next time you see a peacock, understand what it's broadcasting. The Old Testament God, in fact, the God of Revelation, talks about an all-seeing God, has eyes all around. Ezekiel, the disc in the sky, had eyes all around. All referring to the pineal gland. The ark, take a look. The mercy seat, the throne of judgment, the wings of the cherubim, all Folks, this is why we pursue the occult. They hide this. They've hidden this from us for a very long time. But they can't do it because they can't have a charge against them of hiding it. So they do it right in front. Now, I went to a camp when I was a ward of the state in Texas back in the 60s. I went to a camp called Camp Pineal, meeting God face to face. Pineal. I knew this 50 years ago. I didn't know what I was being taught. But look at the synchronicity. What do you think they were trying to tell us? Look at this. There is so much knowledge in this one right here. I'd be curious to see who actually get it. Because when you begin to realize, for the most part of our society, of the population today, they're cut off, literally cut off. I don't know what's happening, but I have a feeling there's outside interference as to the vibration that is reactivating many of these glands in so many people. But let's talk about potentially our creators. If you take the story, which we have to, this predates the Hebrews. So you've got to throw your knowledge as far as what you think is Old Testament history out. You have to put this in front. But what is the pine cone? It's right in us. It's called the throne of God. Jacob's ladder, the stairway to heaven, the kundalini of the chakras. And the two are intertwined. Why? What is the secret knowledge that the pineal gland and the cone of life, have in common? I mean, they're obviously simpatico. Seems like one can't exist without the other. And throughout history, again, the sages seem to know why the investment of erecting a pine cone. Nothing is by accident. It's that because it's been there from the very beginning. And as you can see, they've been playing three-card Monte with us. Everywhere, folks, every religion, every philosophy. You study the occult, everywhere. Listen, if it's in the Eastern, which I think predates most, I'm going to be doing one on here and on the hidden history of Siberia. But nevertheless, why is the cone always associated with God, divinity, creation, life? Why is it replete everywhere? Yet we summarily, we don't talk about it enough. We don't examine it enough. We don't delve into it enough. We can't be so damn que sera about this anymore. You know, it's to our detriment. If the occult, the archons, the dark overlords, the bankers, whoever, the secret societies, the secret cults, the secret knowledge, all here. And now you can see the 7 gates to God's consciousness and how it relates directly to this gland. Folks, when you have this in the largest religions of the world, when this is part of their history, legacy, and when we start putting the snake, Lucifer, chakra, creation, origin, God, talking to God, this is what they've known. They've told you you're not worthy enough. But I believe that this is what Michelangelo knew. Look at it. There it is right there, folks. He knew he could not do this because the Vatican would have cut him off, if not cut his head off. He was hoping the day would come when we would wake up and see. It's not God on a throne. It's not some white Caucasian dude. Get it out of your head. God is within. And when the Kundalini becomes active in a person, they begin to experience reactivation. Some don't even know what's happening. Some, it's so strong, it scares them. But they put things there for you to be afraid of because they're hoping you'll be like the rest of the lemmings. Don't look beyond the imagery. My God, you'd maybe get to know something. We've always been in the minority. I come out of the Christian religion. Many people do because that in the Western world it's dominant. But I've had other people who've come out of, Islam, people leaving Hinduism. Hinduism is, I think, a little bit more connected to all this. They understand what that little pine cone, a little nut, does. And you just thought it was an eye. It's a stargate, folks. A stargate. Now, this is something you need to be aware of. This light, I've done videos on it. I've been telling you I'm on the record, so for almost nearly 2 years, this light is showing to have an adverse effect for active glands. Think about it. So there you go. For what it's worth. I was just reading some of the things in the chat room over there. A little intense. But anyway, there's my case. it would appear to what I think a sane, cognitive, rational, logical individual that, well, hell, if they've been trying to shut it down, maybe I ought to make sure that I turn that around. Yeah, I think so. So, smart people here. See, people know. I ain't lying to you. That's what the Christ message was about. That's what the message of the Buddha was about. That's what the message of all the great sages. God is in here. Literally. That's why I've told you, you are a God. And when that gets reactivated, things begin to happen. A lot of times we go off in 50 different directions because it's so new. It's some of us we take a little bit to, try to break in the shoes, so to speak. So I think we've got a poquito part. It's not all of it. They're damn clever. They've been at this a lot longer than you and I have. And with great minds, we can begin to fill the picture out. And we all learn. We just got to remember, invoke favor. If it, burns your ass, well, that's all right. Put a little ice on it. Come back and take a look at it again. I have to do that. There's stuff that I read and the stuff that's sent to me that I go, but I don't criticize. I don't condemn. I don't be a snide remark. I got to go back and think about it again. And sometimes, it takes a little bit of time to soak in, but it does. All right, folks. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I really do. At this stage in my life, I have found that I am the wealthiest man around. The pursuit of the things that I thought were real were nothing more than a mist. And I've had the fortunate opportunity, whether it was by divine providence, whether it was by individual tenacity, guidance of others, who knows, but I'm at the richest place in my life. And yeah, it's cool because of you. So tomorrow we're going to get into the Course in Miracles. We need miracles, folks. And I think today, if we apply what I presented today and take it with whatever you want, but the picture doesn't lie, and then begin to apply it now to the Course in Miracles, I wonder how much quicker those manifestations will come about. I think they're going to come about much more quicker. All right, folks, be good to yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Love yourselves, folks. Remember, God lives within you. It's the only place and it's not he, not a she. But if you're a she or if you're a he, then I don't think there's a problem on how you want to address the gender. But that's where it lives. It's where your soul lives. Remember, if your soul is not inhabiting the full body, then your spirit or soul has to be confined to something. It can't be just simply, this intangible, esoteric, concept. It has to have foundation. I mean, when you die, baby. The spirit ain't going to stay in. The soul definitely, if they're different, they're one and the same, who knows? All right. I can go on and on and on with this. All right, folks. Thank you again so much. I hope I've, enriched your life a little bit and, shared a little bit of knowledge. All right, folks, we'll see you again. Bye-bye.